Good afternoon, everybody. It's late Sunday afternoon, and we just had a visit and tour with His Excellency Governor Charlie Baker. Just had a team meeting with all our department heads and officials from MEMA, our outside engineers. So it's been a busy day. So I want to give you some updates as we know of today. National Grid continues to work across the city. As you may know, they're hitting the cities and towns all across the region as there's outages everywhere. So we are working our way through that, working with our City Inspection Service Department along with National Grid. So every hour there's more homes going on as we speak, which is a good thing. So I know that it's very inconvenient when you lose power. There are those homes that took on severe floodwaters that will take a little longer to get back on because they'll need to be inspected by the electrical inspectors to see if it's safe to turn it on. So that will be ongoing as well. We took a little tour with the governor, some of the damaged areas of our city, and actually walked around the Post Island area. But we talked about a lot of areas in our city. This storm obviously affected a number of low-lying areas, some off of Wollaston Beach, Sachem Street area, Watkins, you name it, down that Strand area that's a little low behind Quincy Shore Drive. You know, I know that we focused a lot on Housing because it's the biggest area, but we are doing work all across the city for anyone that has been affected. We have, I think, about 50 homes that we've pumped already, and that's ongoing. And again, if you have water in your basement, you need help pumping, 617-376-1910 is the number. We have a list, and the crews are working off that list to assist people. We have trash collection for those areas that we hit hard. In fact, in touring today, we've seen people already dragging out, obviously, old rugs and furniture that get damaged by the water. We'll be doing trash pickup every day this week for some of those hardest hit streets. And I think you know who you are. And if you ever have any question on any of that, please feel free to call the mayor's office at 617-376-1990. Please do not put out any gasoline cans or paint cans with that. We're going to be organizing a special hazmat day in the coming weeks for those items. Additionally, those homes that took a lot of damage are going to be doing major work to the whole homes. We cannot pick up in the regular trash construction debris. So I ask you to please have your contractor deal with that aspect of it. All permit fees are going to be waived for any work with the inspection services that needs permits to help assist in a small way that we can get through this difficult period for a lot of folks out there. This morning we had out at 6 o'clock this morning assessment teams, our city engineers, engineers from Ty and Bond, engineers from Woodard and Curran, assessing seawalls, tide gates, roads, sidewalks, drainage system. We're looking at some severe damage to some of those areas. So we're also working with the governor and MEMA to determine the declaration, and all the information assessment we do helps them make a decision whether we're going to be eligible for federal money. So we're working very hard to make sure that we meet the thresholds with the guidelines set forth by FEMA. So that will be ongoing. I had conversations with Congressman Lynch the last 2 days. He's assisting as well with that FEMA declaration as it comes from the governor. So a lot of folks working very hard. And again, want to thank everybody for coming together and working so hard. You know, the governor, lieutenant governor, the National Guard, you know, obviously the city personnel, police, fire, DPW, public buildings, schools, you know, Red Cross, Salvation Army, Brewster Ambulance, you name it. Everyone's come together. And folks like, you know, the folks, Time Out Pizza and Common Market, and a number of folks that stepped up helping feeding some of these folks that are in the shelters as well. So we are transitioning the Shelter and Housing Act from Atherton Howe to the Thomas Aquinas Hall. We thank Father Martin and the parish at Blessed Sacrament for their help. We'll be providing some meals and drinks for folks that are still kept out of their home this evening. School will be open tomorrow. Monday, school will be open. I know the questionable schools, probably in folks' minds, is Atherton Howe and Broadmeadows. They will both be open for school tomorrow, and they'll be perfectly fine and safe for people to be in those schools. The Broadmeadows School on the outside near the foundations are going to need some fill and some work, but the school is safe. The reality is on that school is it's on piles, so the land moves a little bit, but structurally the school is just fine. We've had some water damage, but it's been cleaned already, professionally disinfected, so we're ready to go at Broadmeadows. The question for Atherton Howe was the power. and we have a generator for that school for most of the power, but National Grid assures me that by the morning, Atherton and Howe will be fully lit for power purposes. So that's the latest update. We'll continue to work in the coming days and weeks. Again, extra rubbish pickup. Any questions about your building, your structure, you can call the building department, and we'll put the hotline up on the screen. Jay Duca's team, they're out and about in the neighborhoods assisting with people in there. But please, file for a permit. The special services is there to help. They're not a hindrance. They're there to help, to make sure any improvements you have made is done in a safe way and it's done according to code. So we ask you to work with us on that. The crews did an incredible job today at Public Works with some outside vendors. We got all the streets opened up, all the debris out. We assisted DCR getting Quincy Shore Drive opened up. So that'll have 3 lanes open on Monday. 2 northbound will be open, 1 southbound in the morning. By the evening, we should have all 4 lanes open. DCR is working very hard, Commissioner Roy and his team. There was a section near Fenner Street that the road was eroded, so that has to be completely fixed up sometime during the day tomorrow before we let traffic on that lane. There's a lot of damage across the city, and I know folks are dealing with that with their own homes, and we're dealing with that in our home of Quincy, so we'll continue to work that through. We'll continue to provide updates as we go forward, as we've been doing right along. And again, I just want to express my gratitude to everybody involved and those folks that have been affected. We're here to help. Hang in there and stay in touch.